Good evening and welcome to the South Coast St Mary's Stadium for match 6 of Leicester's new league season. We've just seen the brass band. We're in the midst of a pretty impressive light show actually. It is dusk overhead and this is a very important match for Leicester City. International break over, and for the first time this campaign they now face another side who were relegated from the top flight with them last campaign. Friday night with me, Chris Parrott, and the former Leicester captain Matt Elliott. Any trip to St Mary's will always bring back memories of the 9-0, but the fact it's the same day of the week, I'm sure Enzo Maresca will settle for just one goal tonight, but you can't not think back 4 years whenever Leicester City play Southampton, particularly here.
Well, I think people perhaps in the media and perhaps supporters can allow themselves to do that. Players, majority of them weren't here then, although there are a fair few remainers, but they can't afford to do so. Can't have, listen, positive thoughts, yeah, but don't be coming here thinking a repeat of the same, you know, highly unlikely. Much more difficult prospect these days in relative terms. Southampton, Leicester are aware of what a big challenge it will be tonight. But the Saints Go Marching In was played. It wasn't particularly putting the fear of God into Leicester supporters and myself and you. But since then they've cranked it up a little bit. Yeah. And it's a little bit more intimidating, as you say, the light show, the sound effects, the pyrotechnics, etc. It's more akin to a festival and a rave than a football game. They're making a big effort. At the end of the day, when that whistle blows, that's when the work's got to be done.
As pre-match entertainment goes, this is very impressive. Southampton have made a good start under Russell Martin, although 2 weeks ago they were hammered at Sunderland to end their unbeaten beginning. But there is like there is at Leicester actually, there is a renewed belief around these parts. They had a very difficult season last year, we know, 3 coaches, pretty unhappy place here. They only won a handful of games, 2 were against Leicester, but you can sense around here now that there's that feeling of a fresh slate, a new start, and all this atmosphere, all this light show, it all breathes into that as we see the 2 sets of players down below us in the St Mary's tunnel.
Yeah, very much so. And, clean slate pretty much, and a fresh start for both teams, as you mentioned. I think the difference, say, with Southampton is, I might be wrong, and Southampton supporters might contest it, but maybe an element of relief that the pain was over. It was a struggle. It was becoming hard work. A lot of turmoil at the club this year. With the new manager coming in, they've sort of accepted it. Okay, take it for what it is and move forward. As Leicester have, but for Leicester it was a jolt, unexpected. But I feel Leicester have dealt with it exceptionally well as well, as have the supporters. They've been superb in backing the team rather than any relegation hangover. Both the teams are out now, ready for you to do your bit, Christopher.
They certainly are. International break over. Back to business for Southampton and Leicester City as they walk out into St Mary's. A first league meeting outside of the top flight for 11 years. Like Leicester, the Saints' unbeaten start to life back in the second tier came to an end 2 weeks ago. So both tonight trying to refine that winning formula on the South Coast. A heck of an atmosphere. We've had a wonderful light show. There are a couple of thousand Leicester fans who have made the long trip south. And this feels, okay, it's only the beginning of September, but this feels like a very, very important night. Norwich will be tough on Wednesday. It's Southampton this evening, and you wonder, in terms of a mood-setting couple of nights, these 2 matches will be very, very important. The Leicester City players, all in blue this evening, have just gone into their huddle. Southampton have done the same, and the team news is very interesting. Enzo Maresca has broadly chosen the players that he had available to train with, actually, as opposed to all those who went away on international duty. There are 3 changes from the Holder fleet. In come Justin, Mavididi and Vardy, who captains the side. Fass, Akun and Iheanacho drop out. So it'll be Mads Hermansen in goal, the back 4 of James Justin, Yannick Vestergaard back here at the club he left for Leicester, Callum Doyle and Ricardo. Harry Winks, Wilfred Ndidi and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall operating in midfield, with Steffi, Mavididi, Casey McAteer either side of Jamie Vardy, although we know it is a very fluid side under Enzo Maresca. 4 of that 11 started the famous 9-0 win here. 3 for Leicester, Vardy, Ndidi and Ricardo, and Vestergaard for Southampton.
In recent days,
we are going to have a minute's silence before kick-off this evening. I will go through the Southampton team quickly. Russell Martin has made a number of changes from the loss at Sunderland. They'll have Gavin Bazzuno in goal, Walker Peters, Downs, Harwood Bellis and Manning the back 4, Fraser, Charles, Smallbone and Adozi in midfield, Armstrong and Adams up front. But we will have a minute's silence in memory of all of those who lost their lives in the tragedies in both Morocco and Libya. A moment to remember those who have lost their lives and have been affected in the 2 recent tragedies in Morocco and Libya, and a reminder that you can give money to the Red Cross in their appeal to help those 2 nations. Pictures of the tragic events on both ends of the giant screens here at St Mary's. Enzo Maresca sat down below us watching on. 4 wins from 5 championship games to begin his Leicester tenure. This, you feel, in many ways, perhaps the toughest test yet. Southampton, in his words, he expects to be up there with Leicester at the end of the season as both sides look for an immediate return to the Premier League. We're underway. Shay Adams rolling it back into midfield. Southampton, as we look at it, kicking from left to right towards the northern stand where the Leicester fans are. They're in their traditional red and white shirts, black shorts, white socks. And here is Jamie Vardy on the edge of the box into Mavididi. Chances for Leicester very early on. Back to Vardy, who scores sensationally. 21 seconds on the clock. What an extraordinary beginning. He got a hat-trick here in the 9-0 win, and he's off and running already. Vardy into the 11, wearing the captain's armband. He slammed it home from around the penalty spot. Southampton 0, Leicester 1.
1 down, 8 to go, Chris, is that? Perhaps a little bit hasty, a little bit predictable on my front as well, I suppose. But you could see it developing as the move was going. I mean, Southampton had the kick-off, as you described, and they played it backwards and didn't look particularly convincing as to what they were looking to do. Leicester pinched it, and Southampton had committed players forward, and they were left exposed there. They just opened up for Mavididi. He plays the 1-2 with Vardy. Good position from Vardy, nice layoff. Mavididi had options, cut it back. The ricochet fell invitingly for Vardy, but almost nonchalantly just side-footed it into a pretty much empty net. Leicester 1-0 up.
And he's on the ball again too, Mavididi, who is sparkling early on here. He's gone beyond his man, he's crossed it in again, and it's whizzed away, maybe only a fur. Here is the edge of the box, and Ndidi who shoots, and that's blocked by Flynn Downs. Now Ricardo's on the ball, he loses out, and they will win themselves, Southampton, a pressure-relieving free kick. Samuel Edozie was fouled. That is Vardy's first championship goal since March 2014. At Blackburn. It's his first of the season in the league, and Leicester fans of course will hope it is the first of many. But that's punctured some of the nice mood which was building inside St Mary's before kick-off.
Yeah, all that build-up and all that effort and palaver, isn't it? And certainly no initial effect, and that's what it's there for, to sort of create that atmosphere at the start of the game. And a massive hole has been put into that balloon, hasn't it? And it's going to be absolutely delighted. I mean, they haven't even got going yet, and they've had a couple of dangerous situations, but goalkeeper Manson having his first touch of the ball, but they've got to make sure they capitalise on this and just steady themselves. But at the moment they're looking to increase their lead. McAteer on the right hand side.
Southampton look very open. Casey McAteer into the box to Wilfred Ndidi, who had continued his run on after he just fed the ball in midfield out to the right wing, and it's gone out of play. Well, Southampton have had a really good start to the season, but they conceded 5 at Sunderland, and they actually have the worst defensive record, partly because of that, but they had a 4-4 draw. They've given it away inside their own box. It could be 2. Oh, Dewsbury Hall didn't quite get it right. Winks might. It comes back to Dewsbury Hall, and it's deflected wide. But listen to those boos. Keenan Dewsbury Hall knows that he should have punished them, and it should be 2-0 inside 4 minutes.
Couldn't agree more, Chris. Keenan's let him off the hook there. I mean, it was ridiculously risky football from Southampton, especially to steady the ship a little bit. Was it Harwood Bellis?
Harwood Bellis on his first start.
Yeah, off the keeper, trying to play a sort of defence-splitting pass from his own defensive penalty box, and I mean, Dewsbury will cut it out with ease. If it was on his left foot, he would have rifled it towards the goal. Hesitated, should have taken the effort really. Had time to compose himself, hit it himself again after a touch. Feed Vardy with a better ball, but his Dewsbury Hall again left hand side. From
a short corner, 1-2 with McAteer. He's overhit the cross there, but that was so easy for Leicester. They'd outgunned Southampton again. We know Southampton are going to want to keep the ball and play this progressive game, but there are some seriously big holes out there defensively in the opening 4.5 minutes. Southampton 0, Leicester 1. Jamie Vardy with a goal. 21 seconds on the clock when I looked up. We'll see what the official timing is. But here they are dangerous going the other way. Edozie into the box to Shay Adams. Leicester born back across to Edozie, who couldn't get there. And neither could Adam Armstrong. And there's some seriously good defending in there. Might have been from Callum Doyle. It might have been from James Justin, actually, across from right back. He's getting the plaudits. I'll tell you what, Justin has saved a goal. We've had 5 minutes. Leicester are 1-0 up. We could have had 3 goals already very easily.
Yeah, without exaggeration there. As you say, it was. I mean, where's the centre halves there? Vestergaard gets drawn out. Callum Doyle not in the vicinity. Not saying it was necessarily his fault, he had his man to track, but 3 Southampton players bearing down on goal. James Justin gets the first touch.
In comes the corner, flicked on at the near post and walloped away by Ndidi. Of course, there's no James Ward-Prowse this season to be taking the set pieces, so Ryan Manning, the left back, the Irish left back, is taking it. Now Gavin Bazzuno, the Irish international goalkeeper, clears. Ricardo, or passes it actually forward. Ricardo wins the header. Justin heads it back to Mads Hermansen. And we can all have a breather after 6 minutes. It's 1-0 to Leicester.
Well, that clearance was absolutely vital by James Justin. Excellent full-back play. But he very nearly didn't get the opportunity, was it? Adams cut it back. Edozie just inches away. If he got a connection, higher percentage chance that was going in the back of the net, and would have been back on level terms. So we're in for a little bit of a stormer if the beginning's anything to go by.
Yeah, on a hot and humid night. Certainly now anyway, it's been a gorgeous day in these parts. Temperature will drop. It's that time of the year. The Christmas parties will be advertised on the giant screens, but still feels very early on in the campaign as Doyle has a forward pass towards Dewsbury Hall. Cut out. Maresca and Martin. They see the game very similarly, really. 2 young coaches. Martin with much more experience after what he did at MK Dons and Swansea to get the job here. But it was always going to be easy on the eye, this match, and so far it's also been a nervous one for anyone who likes defending. Here is Winks in central midfield for Leicester. Fires the ball out to the far side, and James Justin back to Vestergaard. He's going to get booed every touch, by the way. He's the one that they are booing tonight, by the way, the Southampton fans. Of course, a new lease of life at Leicester this season as Navididi tried a quick pass into midfield. It's picked off by Flynn Downs, who was with Martin at Swansea. Went to West Ham, his boyhood club. Didn't quite work, but he is here on loan for the season. And the last time he was in the Championship, he was one of the best players. Here's Casey McAteer, though. It's opened up again for Leicester. Flying down the right-hand side. He's got Mavididi at the far post, and he hands up the cross. And it goes over. And in the end, it was actually threatening the goal as much as the head of Leicester's left winger. But Matt Elliott, it's another Leicester attack, and there is an awful lot of space for them to attack into.
Yeah, well, both sides play relatively high-risk football, but Southampton, more so than Leicester, at this moment in time, but looking far less secure on the ball. I mean, they're turning it over so easily, and the risk that they play with, they're very lucky that they haven't been punished more severely than they have been already.
Now Leicester have given the ball away. Justin was dispossessed, and it's going to be a shot, a goal, which Hermansen saves to his left-hand side. Super effort from Shea Adams. That was heading in. He loves scoring against Leicester. And Hermansen has come up with a big stop after 8 minutes. It was all after Yannick Vestergaard had a slightly heavy touch from a Doyle pass. Southampton were on to Leicester, and they were almost level.
Well, it has all the makings of an absolute
humdinger
delight to watch, doesn't it? Yeah, humdinger of a game. Good word. Because both teams looking to be positive. Both teams playing risky football. Both teams open defensively, but being positive in an attacking sense. And
in comes the corner. Vestergaard heads it away, only as far as the edge of the box. Walker-Peters heads it back in, and now Mavididi will have a foot race here, and he doesn't quite win it. Had he won it against Will Smallbone, he would have been in on goal. It's that tight. As I mentioned, it was 4-4 here earlier this season when Southampton came up against Norwich. I know it's very early, but has all the makings of that type of night, to be honest with you.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, if Mavididi had won that race, as you say, he would have been in on goal 65 yards out. That's how ridiculous it was. But Southampton, on this evidence so far, you can see why they conceded 5 last time out.
Mason Holgate was signed just before that match and played, and Russell Martin admitted, and he is very open in his interviews, he admitted that he made an error and he wasn't ready to play this style, so he's back on the bench. And they don't have Jan Bednarek, who was injured on international duty for Poland, but it's a fascinating watch out there. Ball went back to Hermansen, and he just very calmly invited the two Southampton players onto him and then picked the pass to Winks in midfield.
He is calm, and that's one of his major strengths that were obviously identified by Maresca and the recruitment team, but he's been pretty impressive all round, to be honest. But Southampton trying to play with that, I don't necessarily like the phrase, but everyone's using it, that inverted fullback type thing. Walker-Peters is dropping into midfield, which is why Mavididi's got so much room, and they turn it over, which they do pretty regularly. But on top of that, the centre half is
Flynn Downs, really.
Yes, sorry, that's the one.
Because it's a surprise to everyone, really.
Sorry, yeah. I'm trying to work it out myself, because the body's scattered around all over the place. Shea Charles, he's going into midfield to match up from the centre half position. I trying to work out for a few minutes whether they're playing a back 3, 4, 2, whatever. Shea Charles is going in on Dewsbury Hall. So they're trying to match Leicester up, like a lot of teams have done, with a bit of success, you have to say, as Hull did not so long ago. But they're getting caught between two stools. And to be fair, the biggest problem for them is not when they're out of possession, it's when they're in possession. But Walker-Peters, that's acres of space in his right back slot.
Well, he's just burst forward, and he's been fouled by Doyle, who gets a final warning, I think, from Bobby Madley, and it's a free kick, which they've knocked into midfield. It's a really loose pass, and then Walker-Peters hesitated. That was terrible from Southampton, and Harry Winks has jinked, and he's fed Ricardo, who's put it up the pitch here, and Leicester are attacking. Cross into the box towards McAteer, and it's headed away. Well, that was genuinely one of the worst free kicks I have seen in a number of years, and you heard what St Mary's made of it.
Couldn't have got a lot more wrong there, could they? That's an opportunity to put pressure on Leicester at a set piece, so they're not particularly adept. It's early on in the game, test them out.
Here's Mavididi, who looked to go beyond Shea Childs. Hit the turf. Referee says play on. No free kick. Might have been a yellow card had he blown his whistle. That is going to be a Southampton throw. I thought it was Leicester ball, actually.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not quite sure. I think that was Russell Martin's eagerness to get the ball back in play there that convinced this assistant referee. But
this is a very 2023 football match, Matt. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all.
2023 championship match,
yes,
as well.
But I mean, some of the passes are brave. They're all brave. Whether they're foolhardy, I'm not quite sure. But Bazzuno's picked out a glorious pass there.
That wasn't bad. That was Premier League.
That was Premier League. All the way up to Ryan Manning. And now inside to the captain, Adam Armstrong, who's picked out Smallbone. Smallbone can shoot here, and it's a big block from Callum Doyle. That one was heading goalwards. Hermansen would have been tested. 13 gone. Southampton 0, Leicester 1.
Yeah, chances, situations, opportunities, whatever you want to call them, at both ends. Leicester have been a little bit casual on a couple of occasions. Loads of space to put the right ball in. Haven't been able to produce it. At Southampton, you have to say, looking equally as dangerous, really, in reality. Much as I don't want to think that or say that, you know, it could have been all sorts of a score already.
No VAR, of course. We've just seen a replay. Hit him up on the bicep, really, but we don't even have to concern ourselves this season as the ball is whipped in from the corner and headed away by the Leicester defence. Comes back down to Edozie. That's dangerous looking, but out comes Hermansen. Plucks it out of the night sky, and it is dark now. Floodlights beaming down and shining off the top of Enzo Maresca's head as he walks out to the edge of his technical area. 1-0 up, looking to make it 5 wins from 6 to start the league season. And of course Leicester have this 100% away record, including in the EFL Cup. Ricardo in the left back area, back here to Doyle, and now Hermansen into Winks. Winks has been dispossessed. Hermansen's out of his goal, but he gets back somehow to deny Shea Adams. Well, that looks absolutely nailed on for 1-1. Leicester guilty of overplaying it. Hermansen was completely out of his goal, but he flew back and he blocked the shot. Russell Martin can't believe it's not 1-1, and neither can 29,000 inside St Mary's.
Maresca and Martin are almost chuckling away to each other, thinking, oh, what's going on?
Here comes the corner, whipped into the box. The first header is won by a Southampton player, and Adams misses it again. That was another golden chance. Hermansen throws it out. It's a crazy game so far. Mavididi can't keep it in play, and Smallbone will throw it back to Gavin Bazzuno. And I mean, I genuinely don't know how to sum up this opening 15 minutes. There's been a lot of brilliant football. There's been some cavalier stuff as well, which perhaps should have resulted in more than the one goal that we've seen.
But it's almost a case of anything you can do, I can do worse. Trying to match each other up with mistakes and frailties. Because, I mean, Leicester, okay, we've said, you know, Hermansen didn't do anything wrong as such, but it looked tight from the start, didn't it? As soon as he played it in with precision, you have to say, into Winks. And Winks was under pressure. And if the touch wasn't quite right, he's going to lose the ball. Nearly lost the goal on the back of it as well, because it looked for all the world as if Shea Adams was going to put that away. An empty net almost. Hermansen came and made the block. Leicester survived somehow, but also again, not so long after at the far post, it doesn't look like the sort of surface though we need to. It's good for passing the ball, for defence splitting passes, because it will fizz and zip, but zipping it into players in tight areas, when it's just a bit of moisture there, it's not sodden or soaking wet, but it makes it sometimes a little bit more difficult to get that grip on the ball. And you've seen it on a number of occasions. The amount of times teams have lost possession in dangerous situations. You've got to read the script a little bit, haven't you, and adapt.
I think that is going to be a discussion point, and I'll let you, Matt, and we've got Wes Morgan and Jerry Taggart back in the studio with Dan Bates, about as the season goes on. To be honest with you, I'm not sure Leicester are going to adapt in that moment. I think they're going to try and get better at what they do. But
yeah.
But it is almightily frightening at times. That was almost the opposite. It was almost fantastic passing. Yeah. Four balls, including Hermansen, and they almost laid in. I think it was Wilfred Ndidi, and it was just overhit.
That's your counter argument, you see. I say it nearly enough every game these days. Risk and reward, isn't it? But even then, there are times. Surely there are times, even in the modern world.
Last 5-10 minutes if you 1-0 up.
Well,
for example.
Of course, example, but even just situations at any time in the game, you have to weigh up the odds. You think, hang on a minute, this is getting too risky. Let's go, bang. Let's go. England did it the other night. Ramsdale, they were cruising. How good were England against Scotland? But even then, occasionally it went, if there was any element of doubt.
Well, Shea Adams plays tonight. He played at Hampden. Now, Walker-Peters has given it away. What a pass! Leicester are in for two! Fantastic goal! Finished off gloriously by Casey McAteer, but made by Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. One of the passes of the season so far. He cut through Southampton. McAteer makes it 2-0 after 18 minutes. What a start to Friday football on the South Coast.
Well, I talked about capitalising. With the way that Southampton are playing, Leicester have managed to do that. Broke up play, Walker-Peters it was, who was made to stumble on the ball as it was played inside. Leicester put the pressure on. Southampton playing from the back. Listen, let them do it. Let them do it all night, because the evidence so far, they're not good enough to do it. Dewsbury-Hall pinches the ball. Great awareness and run by McAteer, especially someone so young. Alive to the situation, good timing, good angle of run as well. He hasn't just run towards goal, he's run into the space centrally, which is a little bit foreign for him. Lovely touch, tucked it away neatly, right foot, left foot. Thank you very much. McAteer, another goal to add to his collection.
Third of the season already. We want nine, sing the Leicester City supporters. Russell Martin has an issue now. Started the season very, very well, but that 5-0 defeat, he hopes, or hope was a flash in the pan, but now you can just feel it around the stadium, Matt. Well, two more conceded. People are now
go on.
Questioning, wondering.
He hasn't shored the defence up. He hasn't addressed that situation. Whatever the problem was last time out, and there were quite a few problems, 5 of them at least, he hasn't addressed that. I don't know whether it's been ignored. He's tried to alter the style of play and get more possession so they don't have as much defending to do. But you've got to solidify your team. I mean, I mentioned about Walker-Peters. He keeps going midfield, keeps losing it. He can't afford to lose it. They can afford to lose it higher up the pitch, because then they can adapt and fill in the gaps. But at the moment, Leicester are just picking holes in them and looking pretty good in doing so when they're in possession.
There's a goal made from the youngsters as well, and all the coaching which has gone into them. Here is Vardy, the type of night he's going to absolutely relish as well. Every time one of those Southampton defenders gets it, they're looking to play a killer pass almost, and he's just glaring at them, waiting for the errors. Yannick Vestergaard with a big challenge, one of those huge legs of his there, and he needed it. Slid in and puts it out of play. Southampton attacking down their left-hand side. They've won a throw in line with the edge of the box, but it's back now with Shea Charles, and just for a second the pace of the game has dropped. 2-0 to Leicester if you're just joining us. Some response after the international break. Vardy after 21 seconds, and Casey McAteer has just slammed home his third of the season, following a glorious pass from Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. And Elliott, given that Dewsbury-Hall had that chance as well, which he couldn't take. There've been 2 or 3 other nearly moments. Leicester could have had more.
Could have been all sorts. The way this game's going,
it might be all sorts.
As daft as it sounds, you wouldn't rule out a repeat of what has happened not so long ago on a famous Friday night, but we won't go there just yet.
No, because here is the attack from Southampton, the cross in, and it's flicked on by Adams, and then, well, that was remarkable from Ricardo, who's managed to clear it from 6 yards out, but then it's hit his teammate Mavididi, and that could have gone anywhere, and it's flown behind for a corner. Wasn't far away from an own goal, which would have been tough on Mavididi, but it all came down that left-hand side, and Ryan Fraser on his full debut is beginning to pick up those pockets of space.
I have to say I might have more money on the 5-all than the 9-0 at the moment.
Agreed. Now they have taken the corner short. Nadorzi up against McAteer here. It's a very good ball towards the far post. Justin won the first header. The shot is wide from Fraser, but it must have taken a deflection. It did take a deflection. Another corner. Southampton simply must get the game's next goal, and that would be a mood changer inside this stadium. But Ryan Fraser is going to take it, on loan from Newcastle, and he's whizzed that one in towards the near post. Hermansen punches away only as far as Walker-Peters. Mavadini is after him. He's already seen a couple of errors from Walker-Peters on the ball, and he's after more. Now small ball under pressure from Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. It's a very good crossfield pass, and Fraser's taken it down, and he's able to pick a pass, and then the cross in is picked up by Hermansen. It's another dangerous moment. It was Taylor Harwood-Bellis, the centre-back, who was still forward there in the left wing position. That tells you all you need to know about the fluidity of both sides tonight.
Pushing a lot of players forward, aren't they? I was just thinking here, seems to be too many red shirts who had a bit of space there in and around Leicester's penalty box, and I was looking at how many players they put forward. It's literally just the two defenders pretty much, and everyone else is in attacking positions. You know, it's gung-ho, it's cavalier, but it's proving very costly for Southampton at the moment, and not productive. But
oh, they're in again here. Dewsbury-Hall, can he get there before Bazunu? Bazunu comes out and does remarkably well. Well, Dewsbury-Hall, I wonder whether he was trying to flick that over the goalkeeper there, who managed to get his foot to it, but Ricardo's steaming back, tried the trick to get beyond his man, and then Armstrong will play it back to Ryan Manning. But Dewsbury-Hall looked like he was going to score there for a second, Matt Elliott, and Bazunu somehow has kept it out on the edge of his own penalty area. Might have been handball had he handled it, but he somehow got his foot there instead.
Yeah, ultimately the keeper's done well. Dewsbury-Hall, he's let him off the hook again there. He produced the assist, McAteer's goal, but before should have either scored himself, set up Vardy. There, I just felt he hesitated a bit. He's nicked possession or whatever, found himself in that left-hand channel. Leicester getting so much joy on both flanks, to be fair, but particularly the left. But I think he just sort of not hesitated, stuttered, but slowed down a little bit. And I thought, don't give the advantage to the keeper there, Kiernan. He got the first touch, didn't get heavy enough. A little bit more on it, takes it past the keeper. Keeper stranded. He can either slide it in himself or pick out, I think Vardy it was who was in alongside him.
Well, here come Southampton at the other end, and Hermansen's going to have to come out here, and he can't get there. It's Samuel Edozie who's clipped it over him, made by Shea Adams, and the Saints hit back, and a crazy first half has a third goal. Good finish from the Southampton right winger Sam Edozie, and Leicester there were the team who were exposed. 2-1.
Well, it's another case of what you can do, I can do, not as well. I mean, it's so loose, it's so easy. It's just a long punt over the top this time, which is not dealt with physically enough. And Doyle it is who dillies and dallies on the ball, doesn't make his mind up, tries a twist and a turn, and doesn't really have anything clear in his head. But, some nicks up there, is a bit of communication or lack of. Shea Adams just pounces on the ball, slides it inside. Ricardo is there at left back trying to cover. I thought Hermansen was going to get there, actually. I fancied him to get the block, especially with how athletic he is coming out. But Edozie, fair dues to him. Good little finish, clipped it over the top of the on-rushing keeper. And properly game on. I was just thinking to myself, 2-0 is not enough. In this game, I don't even think 4-0 is enough. It's bizarre what's occurring out there.
It's easy to jump to quick conclusions sometimes in commentary or when you're at games, but it's one of the most open matches I think I've ever been at. Every attack, both teams are throwing everything at it. Both teams are playing very dangerous football at the back, which when it works is brilliant, as we know. When it doesn't, you can be punished.
Yeah, the thing is though, I wouldn't say the attacking play has been that amazing. It's more down to defensive errors and openness and individuals and collective. But it's yes, okay, they're nice and positive. Both teams want to go at the opposition, which is great, but hasn't been that scintillating in the actual football. The first goal, we know, good combination. Leicester, the second goal, nice pass from Dewsbury, neat finish, don't get me wrong, but so easy to open Southampton up. and Leicester, you have to say. And I don't know. If you're up against, I know talking ifs and buts, if you're up against higher class opposition, you get torn to shreds.
Yeah. It's back with Gavin Bazunu at the moment. Two clubs really rebuilding in the Championship, ultimately aiming for promotion, playing bright, expansive football. Definitely going to be entertaining this season, both at the King Power Stadium and at St Mary's in terms of goals. I think at both ends, but tonight it's Southampton on the attack now with Adam Armstrong, who's just dropped into midfield picking up a pocket of space, but he couldn't pick out a pass. Madavidi did. Be very interested to know the possession at the moment as well, Matt. Leicester won't have had the lion's share at all.
No.
As Smallbone picks it up on the edge of the box. He's had one effort tonight, which was blocked. He didn't shoot there. He picks out Ryan Manning, the left back, who plays a 1-2. McAteer is back doing his defending though, and at the end of it, it is a throw-in right by the corner flag, because Manning tackled him and the ball almost actually hit the corner flag.
Yeah, well, Leicester going 2-0 up. Obviously, it was pretty early in general terms in the game, but you didn't feel that they were in control as such, did you? You know, not for an instant, really. Yes, it's a healthy advantage, and you think perhaps Southampton, you know, their spirits might be dampened and they might drop their heads a touch, but they don't seem too surprised by it. Walker Peters again giving the ball away.
Yeah, and here's Shrewsbury Hall. There's an excellent pass from Winks towards Mavadidi that made him make the error after some good work from Casey McAteer actually in the right back area, but now it's back with Southampton. Who's lost a lot of their big name players. They kept a few as well. Bazunu was courted. Jan Bednarek, of course, who is injured tonight. Shea Adams, who was very close to leaving on deadline day. It's back with Bazunu now, and the boos are for the way that Southampton are playing in this position, because Bazunu has played a few short passes when he's almost let Leicester in, or Southampton players subsequently have, and Russell Martin has won over a lot of hearts and minds since he arrived from Swansea, but I sense, Matt, at the moment that tactic is not the most popular one inside St Mary's.
No, you know, again, it's just levels and degrees of risk, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, you know, you're out there to win football games, and you could say it's a process, etc., this, that, and that. But I don't know, when you're playing that type of football with the players that Southampton have got, or the way those players are playing at the moment, it's only going to go one way. But you know, over time, like a Maresca does with his troops, he's saying, listen, we'll improve, we're going to get better at what we do. You know, it takes a brave man to do it, but ultimately both these teams need results more than they need performances, but nice to have both, I suppose.
So much space again for Dewsbury Hall, who's picked a pass towards Vardy. He left it, McAteer hadn't read it. That would have been half a chance for Jamie Vardy had he gathered that. Cleared by Southampton only as far as James Justin, and now Winks into Ricardo, who stepped into central midfield from that left back area. Rolls it back to Yannick Vestergaard, who plays it short here to Doyle. Doyle goes back to the goalkeeper, Mads Hermansen. All in green tonight, outside his penalty area, into Winks. Winks cushions it back to Vestergaard, who looks for space, and it's Jamie Vardy. Lovely first touch back to Winks. Winks driving through midfield, fouled by Smallbone, who will not escape a booking. Fine play from Leicester City. Possibly the best move they've put together actually after 31 minutes of this championship contest. Wings is hurt, think he's going to be fine, but Smallbone, a very, very important player in the Southampton midfield, is booked and becomes the first player to be booked by Bobby Madley.
Yeah, perhaps I haven't been giving Leicester enough credit at times going forward. They look pretty slick. The two goals in particular, and then there was the occasion where it popped up from Hermansen into Vardy, back to Winks, I think it was, and through to Ndidi nearly. In that instance there, again, Vardy involved. People say he can't come and play up short and link up play. Tonight's evidence, he certainly can, and we've seen him do it before. It's not perhaps his forte, but Perhaps he's adjusted
Here
a little
he
bit.
is,
There
off to Ndidi, who shoots. Great save for Zuno to his right-hand side. More excellent Leicester play. Ricardo involved, Ndidi with the 1-2. Vardy brilliantly put it back to him, and that shot was arrowing into the back of the net. Bazunu with the save down to his right-hand side.
Yeah, right on cue. Jamie Vardy again, providing the key link-up play. I think he's been done a bit of a disservice at times. People saying, oh, Iheanacho's more suited in that role. Jamie likes to go into the channels, etc., doesn't he? I know. But he can play, and he looks like the penny's sort of dropping with him a little bit now, certainly on this evening's evidence.
In comes the corner, headed up into the sky by a Southampton defender. It was Taylor Harwood-Bellis on his debut for the club, and out of play for a corner on the other side, which Dewsbury Hall is going to take. Just seen that save again from Bazunu. Indeed, he did not do much wrong with the shot. It was rocketing towards the back of the net and drifting away from the goalkeeper as well. And he got the save. Dewsbury Hall now with this latest corner. 2-1 Leicester after 33 minutes. In it comes. It's a good ball, and it's headed away at the near post by Charles, only as far as McAteer, who cushions it back to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall now with the back heel to McAteer. Those two have combined for a goal already tonight. McAteer tries to run at Armstrong and rolls it back to Wilfred Ndidi. Leicester have kept the ball well now. Here is Winks to Ricardo. For once, there isn't a great hurry for Southampton, and they're just set in now into a defensive shape, which is most unusual from the way they've been playing. So McAteer has it on the right wing into Ndidi, and Ndidi shovels it into the penalty area, and it's cleared before Vardy could get there. But then Winks and Ricardo win it back against Edozie. Ricardo under pressure, rolls it back to Yannick Vestergaard. 34 minutes gone, 2-1 Leicester. This feels like the longest spell they've had with the ball actually tonight. Doyle is going to roll it back to Hermansen, who is midway up his own half really. Nowhere near his goal as we're used to seeing. He feeds Vestergaard up over halfway, plays the ball to Doyle, now in the left wing position. Mavididi with a 1-2 to Doyle. Doyle down the line. It's a clever ball, to Dewsbury Hall, who will get there before it goes out of play. And he's wrestled to the floor by Charles. Didn't need to make that challenge, really. And Leicester have won themselves a free kick right by the corner flag as they attack down the left-hand side.
Yeah, certainly pressure there. Constant possession, as you say, by Leicester. The set piece came in. Southampton never really looked to clear their lines, did they? Just afforded Leicester the luxury of keeping the ball and doing what they wanted to do with it, and eventually did well, actually, well manoeuvred on that right-hand side. Indeed, he put in an excellent ball, joined in sort of a third-man run, just whips it across, caught Vardy by surprise. If he'd expected it, he could have got across his man and maybe got an effort towards goal, but wasn't to be.
Dewsbury Hall takes the free kick back to Winks, who fired the ball in, and Vardy stuck out a boot. I'm not sure whether he got a touch, and Bazunu makes the save, but that was another dangerous moment as Southampton try and attack down their left-hand side from a long throw, and Ricardo comes across. He might have just bounced into the back of the Saints player over there.
Yeah, I thought it was a foul, to be honest, albeit from about 80, 90, 100 yards away, but because I think Ricardo was aware that if Armstrong did go past him, he had no support, but
here goes
give him the benefit of the doubt. Is Vardy winning a foot race? Good strength. Great
strength from Vardy, and then the quality to try and go beyond his man. It's actually a very good challenge from Harwood-Bellis. Just, yeah. There's plenty of experience difference between those two, as indeed he somehow gets out of a gap. Downs was there, but he did magnificently to get beyond him, and then the covering defender, if you like, with Adam Armstrong, and it's out of play for a Leicester throw. 2-1 after 36 minutes, which have absolutely flown by. McAteer, lovely touch, classy footballer. Back to Justin, very loopy ball towards the far post. Mavididi will keep it in play very successfully and gets it back to Ricardo. That was good from the man who made the first, Vestergaard. Seems like a complete change in tactics for Southampton in the last few minutes, but I think it's just because Leicester have had the ball. Mavididi with a nutmeg beyond Smallbone, and then the shot, and Bazunu makes the save. Wout Faes had his hands up there, the substitute, in wonder at the skill from the Leicester left winger. And that finished in a goal. we'd have been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, if the finish matched the setup, would have been very nice indeed, wasn't it? But yeah, Mavridini's sort of a little bit undecided about him at times, you know. But tonight, when he's been on the ball, which hasn't been often enough, he's looked pretty dangerous.
Here's Edozie, the young Saints right winger who got them back into the contest with their goal. Plays it back to Walker-Peters, who turns. Here is Edozie, Ricardo for company, and Mavridini for company on this right-hand side. 1-2 with Flynn Downs. He's going to have a lot of defending to do this season, Flynn Downs.
He's a danger, Edozie, isn't he? I mean, we've already seen that with his goal, but his general play, he's got something a little bit different, hasn't he? He looks similar in appearance, but also in sort of style of play, and that's a little bit more flamboyant.
He's gone beyond Winks. It's a pretty good cross, and Armstrong's header is blocked, and then Dewsbury Hall will clear. Edozie was one of those that Southampton fans were worried about losing this summer. It was Nathan Teller they did lose in the end. And free kick here.
Comparisons to Leroy Sané?
I can see certainly in the style, yeah.
Sané, is that the right pronunciation?
Dewsbury Hall's been booked, by the way.
Similar.
He's left one on Walker-Peters.
You know, similar sort of posture and style, etc. He's been pretty impressive. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall there. He got the yellow card, did he?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bit of a lunge. Yeah, touch unnecessary. Always risking it, aren't you, if you don't get it right? See Southampton make a better fist of this set piece than they did before. Yeah,
the left-footed option is Ryan Manning, the right-footed option is Ryan Fraser, and everybody's back for Leicester City. In it comes from Manning. It's a good delivery, you know, and the header is saved by Hermansen. I'm not sure he got the touch there from a Southampton point of view, but you wonder whether that was going to go in. It might have been Howard Bellis who was up there.
It was, yeah. I think he got the touch, just skimmed it. It seemed as if it like bobbled off his shoulder, just plopped up in the air, pretty much for Hermansen. But
it's a good spot.
Dangerous area.
It's exactly what happened, Matt. It did come up off his shoulder. Otherwise, it might have been 2-2.
Well, eyes are better than I thought then, even from that distance. But that sort of ball, there was a fair bit of height on it. A decent area, whipped in. But then someone's got to, for me, I've got to be looking for my keeper to come and deal with that. But if that's not going to happen, someone's got, you've got time to adjust, claim that, come and meet it, come and get your head on it there. And that was too easily a Southampton ball.
Just looking down, Connor Cody is warming up. He's the type of player that might be doing that. And for the rest of the campaign, of course, fractured foot has seen him out until tonight, but great to see him in a matchday squad. As Flynn Downs pokes it to Smallbone on the edge of the penalty area, back to Ryan Fraser. Cross comes in and headed away by Vestergaard, and it breaks now for Dewsbury Hall, and Mavridini is off and running down the left for Leicester City, and he's up against the centre half here. Can he beat him? Mavridini goes the long way round, and his shot is saved by Bazunu. Good save, good solid save from Gavin Bazunu. Otherwise it might have been 3-1.
Yeah, it was reminiscent of Mavridini in the Huddersfield game, wasn't it? You know, away from home where he... Paul coming in there, sorry, gone for a goal kick harmlessly, but yeah, did the little shimmy dummy, fizzed it in with his left foot, went through the keeper's leg. No such luck on this occasion, but in hindsight, certainly probably the wrong option. Leicester had 3 against 2 there. McAteer was at the far stick, waving his hand saying, feed me, I've scored 1, I'm hungry for another. Vardy was up in attention as well, although in fairness, yeah, Southampton got back and sort of shut the angle to McAteer on seeing the replay, but he's entitled to have a strike there, but got to go cross goal a little bit more, haven't you?
Again, it was very easy for Leicester to have a 3-on-2. Didn't have to do an awful lot right to get into that position.
It's so encouraging, isn't it, for as a player coming up against either opposition, to be fair, at the moment, but particularly Southampton. Even if it went 2-2, as a Leicester player, I'd be thinking, right, okay, we've let that slip, but we're going to get another goal. Surely we're going to get another goal. And I'm not sure Southampton have got as much belief in that. Although I won't back against that either.
Cardo back to Hermansen there with the clearance, and Vardy's done ever so well up against Harwood Bellis. He used all of his experience there, Vardy. Won the ball, but then drew the challenge. So Harwood Bellis had a great season at Burnley on loan from Manchester City last season, when they romped to the title, playing a very expansive brand of football under Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, obviously a decent footballer, and has done well at this level, but on this evidence still looks like he's got quite a bit to learn, to be fair.
And this is his debut as well. Long season, so many games. Look at the two benches tonight and those who are out for both clubs, and you see the strength and depth they have, and very interesting to know when either coach might know their best 11, if that even exists nowadays with squad rotation. It's in midfield now with Flynn Downs, and Didi was aggressive there to try and win it. Downs did well actually and wins the free kick.
Yeah, and Didi committing the foul there. We're just talking about sort of team selection, squad rotation or whatever, but a few people would be quite surprised, mildly at least, that Ndidi finds himself starting regularly in that sort of number 8 advanced role.
Big challenge there between Mavididi and Downs. Mavididi won it, but the ball has found its way to Adam Armstrong. Well played. McAteer, who flew back and pinched the ball off the Southampton captain, and now tries to trick his way beyond him and wins a throw. Really intelligent play, almost from a seasoned professional there, McAteer, not someone who's making his way into the game.
Yeah, he fits in well, doesn't he, McAteer? He's got a number of attributes as well, which I think Maresca likes, as well as being, technically, that's a hell of a ball from Vestergaard.
Certainly is. We were right behind it, onto the chest of Mavididi here, who can run at Walker Peters, plays it down the left to Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, back to Mavididi, what a pass, and then it might come to McAteer, might now come on the edge of the box to Ndidi, whose shot is blocked, and now another chance maybe for Ricardo. Winks plays it back to Dewsbury Hall. Leicester still have it in the box, with Dewsbury Hall now by the corner flag, but that was a golden chance for Mavididi to score, and he rather shanked his shot.
Well, Leicester still in possession, remarkably, and have been since that effort by Mavididi, but again, so easy down this left-hand side, isn't it? It's incredible, but Mavididi, right option, it just needed the right connection, didn't it? But it's one of those, I think it looked a lot easier than it was, because the ball was coming, you almost had to sort of help it along a touch, sort of swing of the left foot. We're just watching, played that run inside. Right foot he's gone with, is he there? Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Vardy was there as well on the penalty spot, hanging back.
If he missed it totally, it goes to Vardy probably. If he gets the right connection, it's a goal, and he got somewhere in between, unfortunately.
Well, we spoke to him before the match, and he mentioned that it's been a while since I scored my goal at Huddersfield. He has had 3 very good opportunities, 3 added minutes.
He's looked a little bit more.
Well, here's Vardy. He's got the ball from a long pass, and he's up against both Southampton centre-backs, and in the end they do enough between them to stop him, but Vardy was almost in there. Southampton have given away. They started badly, and they're not finishing the half particularly well, although Downs has just won the ball against Ndidi, and Adam Armstrong races forward to the edge of the penalty area, didn't pass it, perhaps should have passed it to Fraser, and his shot is blocked, and then I think he's fouled Wilfred Ndidi when the ball ricocheted back to the Leicester City midfielder.
Yeah, I was going to say about 2 or 3 different things there, and so many things have happened since my initial thoughts. It's confusing out there, but Mavididi, sometimes looks a little bit off the pace or a little bit casual, shall we say. But tonight, a bit more like the player that Maresca or Leicester City signed, and the expectations that came with him. Vardy's giving Howard Ellis a real old test out there tonight, because a lot of time he's left 1v1 against Vardy in the middle of his own defence, which is a rarity. Normally you've got at least someone helping alongside there, but Vardy's sort of licking his lips a little bit. If he gets the right service, he can get in a number of times.
1 goal already tonight. 1 of 6 Leicester shots, 4 of which have been on target, 2 of which have found the back of the net.
And yet another ball there, this time from Doyle, all the way through to Jamie Vardy, lays it off well. There's so much open space in front of him. Vardy's recognised that. Like I said, that 1v1, Howard Ellis can't be both sides of Jamie Vardy. And look, there's a ball on now if they want to.
Yeah.
And just support from midfield. They're getting joy from that.
So many line-breaking passes from Leicester City tonight.
Well, so many opportunities tonight.
Yeah. Doyle with one up towards Mavididi. That's a lovely first-time ball to Winks. Winks back to Kin in Dewsbury Hall. Down this left-hand side where Leicester have been really good tonight. We've had 2 of the 3 additional minutes at St Mary's. Here's Mavididi, goes beyond his man Edozie, gets to the edge of the box, slips in Ndidi, lovely feint to shoot, and then the finish from Wilfred Ndidi. Leicester scored after 20-odd seconds of this first half, and with 30 seconds left to go, they've done so once more. What a finish from Wilfred Ndidi. Finished that like a seasoned centre-forward, and it's Southampton 1, Leicester 3.
Oh, what a finish, what a goal. What a move, that man Mavididi. Never mind Wilfred and Ndidi. The 2 of them combining. Mavididi picks it up. He seems that, there's nowhere to turn, but he wriggles, gets clipped, falls to the ground, picks himself up. Wilfred Ndidi making it's like a diagonal run from right to left in Southampton's penalty box. What is he doing in that position? That's not his game.
Maybe it is now, man.
So people say, yeah. I mean, he makes breaks on that right-hand side, not the left-hand side. And then he cuts inside, sells a defender, a keeper there, and then tucks inside again. Keeper comes out, dinks it, gets a little nick off the keeper. In the back of net, what a finish. Twinkle toes, Wilfred Ndidi. Wonderful stuff.
Well, the 3 minutes are up. Can Leicester keep Southampton out? Here's Ryan Fraser. That's a very important challenge from James Justin. Got a toe on that as Fraser was going into the box. It's cleared up towards Dewsbury Hall, who was taken out there surely by Carl Walker-Peters, but that is the half-time whistle. And the boos are very interesting from the Southampton supporters. Conceded 5 at Sunderland before the international break, 3 more tonight. Leicester going forward have looked really dangerous. They took the lead through Jamie Vardy. Casey McAteer made it 2-0. Southampton gave themselves a lifeline when Samuel Edozie got one back. But on half-time, Wilfred Ndidi quite brilliantly got the game's 4th goal. You still feel this one could finish anything. It's been a brilliant watch this first. And at the break, it's Southampton 1, Leicester City 3. Down below us, the Southampton flags flying proudly, but home team are going to have to come up with something pretty special in this second half. They are going to make a change at the break, and Samuel Edozie, who scored, has been taken off. Kamaldeen Sulemana is coming on, who was signed for big money last season and was another who looked like he was heading for the exit, but has remained at the club, and now he gets his first minutes of this season. Another very, very dangerous forward player.
Substitution for the Saints.
Might suggest that James Justin and Casey McAteer won't be too upset to see Sam Edozie taken off. Unless there is an injury.
I thought he looked quite potent, quite threatened at times. Perhaps not doing his defensive work too much, which comes into it, but I'm not so sure the substitute will either. There's Sulemana not noted for his tracking back, but
here's Dewsbury Hall, we're back underway. Leicester kicking towards the travelling supporters who have already celebrated 3 goals, and they're hoping for more in this second half, and I think it's going to be just as opening and just as wild, which was the adjective used to describe that first half from a lot of those in the press room, including a number of former Southampton players who were left scratching their heads slightly with some of the tactics. To throw in bang on halfway for Southampton, who have Bazunu in goal, Walker-Peters, Downs, Howard-Bellis and Manning, although it's really a 3 at the back, with Sulemana, Smallbone, Charles and Fraser across midfield. Adam Armstrong sort of dropping deep alongside Shea Adams up top. Leicester with Hermanson in goal, Justin, Vestergaard, Doyle and Ricard at the back 4. Winks, Ndidi and Dewsbury Hall in midfield. And then McAteer and Mavididi either side of Jamie Vardy. All is with Charles here one of the centre-backs, rolled it into midfield to Downs, but Wilfred Ndidi was onto him immediately. And eventually Kamaldeen Suleimani tried to play a 1-2. He didn't hit Shea Adams. Leicester then give it away. Scrappy at the start of the second half. In steps McAteer to bring some composure and order to proceedings, and then Hermansen on his left foot doesn't try a cute pass because there really wasn't one on, and he puts it out of play. Matt Elliott, I would suggest that you won't mind that, because the other option was that he tried something which could have led to a big chance for Southampton.
Well, I think under a little bit of pressure and the ball coming at him awkwardly onto his left foot, running across him, I think he did sort of belatedly try and pick out Mavididi, but got it slightly wrong. It was happy enough just to clear it out of danger. Yeah, because it was all a little bit wayward, wasn't it? You know, from both teams really, drifting into an error there or a dangerous situation, and at least Leicester couldn't reset after Hermansen clearing it out of play. But you're on about Southampton, you know, it's a back three, and sometimes it's a back four, sometimes it's a two, sometimes it's a back one. It is strange what's going on out there. There's no, I don't know, they look like they haven't. They look like they've been told what to do, but haven't actually practiced it.
So Adam Armstrong hits that pass towards Ryan Fraser. Warm applause. It's a strange evening. Just some of the football feels almost like a very early season match. Now this is a worry because of the temperature. This is a worry for Southampton because Flynn Downs has gone down, and that ball was kicked out of play by Adam Armstrong. And on comes the physios. He's a huge part, Downs, of this side, having arrived from West Ham. And important as well for me to point out that Keenan Dewsbury Hall, who was injured at half-time when the whistle went, had a bit of treatment, but was able to walk off. Yeah, and he's back on. I'm not sure Flynn Downs is going to be able to carry on.
No, I'm just looking at the speed with which the substitute is getting ready. Basically, he's whipped his shirt on, he's coming on. Carlos Alcaraz.
Who scored the only goal here last season when Southampton beat Leicester in the Premier League. Downs here.
Of course, yeah.
They are rather gingerly pressing down on the right toe.
It looks to me as if it's, you know, not pre-existing, but an injury he probably had at half-time. He's like, Gaffer, I'm feeling it a bit, I'll give it a go. He's giving it a go, and he's paid the price because the sub was up, bang, as if, you know, they were semi-expecting it.
Yeah. And actually, even before Downs has been hauled up off the floor, his number's up, his name's been read out, and on in his place is going to be Alcaraz. This is another attacking change, to be honest. Downs is the glue that holds that midfield together, really, and Alcaraz is significantly more attacking than that. I think Smallbone may well drop back a little bit, but
well, he's been pretty deep anyway, hasn't he, Smallbone?
Yeah.
You know, the majority of the time, but listen, sink or swim time maybe. You know, could well work in Leicester's favour because they've been open enough anyway in that central area. There's another attacker to contend with, but you know, Leicester the 2-goal advantage.
Is number 22, Charlie Alcaraz.
So on comes Alcaraz. Southampton have Ipswich here on Tuesday night, where Downs began his career. They will hope he's okay for that, but he is hobbling off. It's a right foot injury for Flynn Downs. Alcaraz comes on. Leicester have taken the goal kick. Doyle took it, played it to the goalkeeper, who then played it back to him. And then it's given away. Strong play this from Southampton. That's a tug of the shirt. It'll be a yellow card for Harry Winks and a free kick. 23 yards out. It was good play from Shea Charles, and this is definitely within shooting range, albeit this season there is no James Ward-Prowse, fortunately, from a Leicester point of view.
A little bit loose from Leicester there. I mean, Southampton had 6 players pressing, and there was a back 4. Leicester had 2-3 players in advanced areas. I mean, the ball was on straight from the goal kick, just to clip it back to front. And they played it short between Doyle and Hermansen and back to Doyle. He slides the ball into Dewsbury, but it's all a little bit predictable. The defenders can read it, and Dewsbury was trying to hold Charles off, but Charles can't just stand there and be pinned. So he comes around, he shrugs Dewsbury Hall off. Dewsbury Hall wanted the foul, didn't get it. All of a sudden, Leicester lose possession. And Winks has to tug Charles back, was it, I think?
Yeah.
for the yellow card and the dangerous set piece conceded. So,
not quite
they
as
brought it on
dangerous.
themselves there.
Not quite as dangerous as I first mentioned. Where he went over, it was 22, 23 yards out, but where the tug was,
it's a hell of a strike from there.
Maybe more like 30 yards out, but Manning looks like he fancies it still. In fact, it's Alcaraz, the new man, and that is well wide. It went past the wall, not over the wall, and it kept on going, and Hermansen literally just waved it as it went past his left-hand post. 52 gone, still 3-1.
Here we go, similar situation, 4v4 it was, not 3v4. They're going to back to front. Hermansen's going to be forced to go long. Slides it through.
Dewsbury Hall, that was a horrible back pass.
Dewsbury Hall got to the ball first, prepared for the challenge of Charles, but toe ended it. Almost back to the Southampton player. Luckily, he gets the draws the foul. Leicester playing a dicey game.
Very intrigued to see where both these teams are come the end of the season, when they've been playing this style all season long. Because if it clicks consistently, it will be very, very dangerous, as Vestergaard almost picked out Dewsbury Hall, who would have been in on goal with a 50-60 yard pass. It bounced through to Bazunu, but Maresca was jumping up with his hands on his head because he knew it was a chance. If the ball had have been accurate, Dewsbury Hall would have been in. Talk about going from back to front quickly as well as the intricate passing. Back with Hermansen now, under pressure here from Shea Adams. Clips it up towards McAteer. Comes off the head of Manning. Smallbone then puts it back into midfield. Alcaraz heads it on and then has to chase his own ball because Adams was offside, and it runs through to the Leicester City goalkeeper. Slightly calmer beginning to this second half than the first period.
Yes, it's taken a little while to sort of get going properly, hasn't it? It's been a little bit stop-start.
Hermansen with a long ball up towards Mavididi. What a pass that is, and he's controlled it by the corner flag with Walker-Peters for company. Back to Dewsbury Hall, who has a lot of time and space here. Dewsbury Hall tried to head into the penalty area after a slightly heavy touch, and Southampton clear, but evidence there. I mean, no one really bust the gut to get back at Dewsbury Hall there. Now, we could see him in acres of space. I was looking at Fraser and Smallbone. There was no massive hurry to try and get to him.
No, I almost had too much time. He hesitated, looked up, had the touch. It was a little bit casual, really. Again, sloppy. The touch was heavy, and then he stumbled into two opposition players, but missed opportunity there. Leicester had three at least lurking in around the box. Ball needs to come in.
There's an overload here on this left-hand side, but Southampton couldn't quite work it. And the ball is back with Hermansen, who clips it up towards McAteer. Drawing Leicester City as an 8-year-old. Fourth goal of the season tonight already, made by another academy graduate, Dewsbury Hall. Throw in for Southampton, taken back to Harwood Bellis, who then picks out Bazunu, another who came through at Manchester City. Actually spent a year in League One on loan at Southampton's bitter rivals Portsmouth, before then signing permanently here. I think they've forgiven him for that. Missed kick from Winks goes out of play, and it's been error-ridden really the first 10 minutes of this second half.
Yeah, it's poor standard really, isn't it? When you look at it, there's a lot of time and space for players out there and not making the most of it. I'll tell you, Leicester City's fans, supporters deserve a mention tonight. By the way, as I know, it's a hell of a journey down here on a Friday evening. They've pretty much filled their allowance there. What was it? A couple of thousand at least.
Yeah, they had 2,800 tickets, probably sold 2,600, something like that. But absolutely, game is live on terrestrial TV, and I know many of you are watching around the world. Us, and they have been singing ever since Jamie Vardy put Leicester into a 21-second lead. Vestergaard there very coolly cuts out an Adam Armstrong pass, and Doyle rolls it back to Leicester City's new #1 this season. He picks out Keenan Dewsbury Hall. Just needs to be careful there under pressure from Shea Charles, who wins it. There's a bit more about Southampton in this second half. Now Smallbone.
Well, Leicester have been sloppy really. They're inviting Southampton to up their game, which I don't think they've managed just yet.
They might now with Khalidin Suleimani. Looks to go beyond Justin, and does. And that's a dangerous ball into the box, which Vestergaard did ever so well to put behind. There's been great clamour for Soleimani to have more football at Southampton, and you heard the roar when he came on. That's why he skinned Justin there, and Vestergaard did very well.
Not many people do that. Standing start almost, just there. I thought he was having a bit of a pose and trying to look the part. He backed it up, backed himself.
In comes the corner, headed away.
Hit past Justin, didn't he, like you say? Vestergaard, happy to concede the corner. And Leicester inviting their own trouble here. The 2-goal lead, if it, mistake or a bit of sloppiness, scrappiness, whatever. 1-goal deficit for Southampton, they're back in it. Leicester, if they could just up the game, just that little notch, tighten things up again. Cassidy looking to come on here. Perhaps Maresca senses that. They get 4-1, game over.
Change here, and Wilfred Ndidi is coming off. And on comes Cesare Cassidy into that same position, really. Ndidi has had an excellent night, including the goal on the
I remember that
stroke
forever,
at half time. He certainly will. I remember him scoring an absolute cracker against Newcastle 4 or so years ago, but didn't quite have the deft touch that he did for that strike. But on comes Cassidy, who of course has already made his impact since arriving, and he's got 33 minutes to try and see this one through. Soleimani's going to have another run here at Justin, cuts back onto his right foot, couple of step overs, not too much support really. Back to Manning, the left back, whizzes in the ball. Vestergaard heads it away. Mavididi completes the clearance as far as Smallbone. Back with Adam Armstrong. Soleimani picks it up. Back into the box it goes, and Dewsbury Hall clears. There wasn't too much incision about that Southampton period of play, but they had the ball in a couple of very dangerous positions.
I think Soleimani might have let fly there. Set up invitingly for the volley. Left-footed. Perhaps prefers that jinking and dribbling and crossing and picking players out rather than striking. Missed opportunity. Like I say, Leicester are playing a dicey game right now.
What a pass from Bazunu to pick out Soleimani. Well played from James Justin on that occasion. Got his toe in.
He's wary though, Justin, isn't he? Justin.
Wonderful ball from Bazunu, the goalkeeper, and Russell Martin gave him big applause for it. Here is Shea Adams. Swivels and shoots on the edge of the box, straight at Hermanson. It was Alcaraz who wanted the 1-2, but it was dangerous from Adams, who of course scored both goals last August when Southampton came from 1 down at King Power Stadium to win right at the start of the Premier League season. Tipped up towards Vardy, he feeds McAteer, like he was bundled over by Manning. The referee doesn't give anything, and then allows the throw-in to be taken good 5-6 yards further down the pitch. Soleimani has it again, but so much of the ball since he has come on. Cassidy, of course, is out there now to try and stop him as well. That's a lovely ball into the box, and it's going to fall here for Adam Armstrong. What a terrible miss. The angle was tight, actually, but he's ended up slicing that one 20-30 rows back. If that was on target, it might have been 3-2.
Well, should have at least been on target. We've made a real hash of that. Armstrong made it look more difficult than it was. I think, not the easiest of finishes, but got to do better than that, surely. Leicester playing in tight areas in and around their own penalty area. They've managed to get out this time, but it's not controlled by the time it gets further up the pitch. Conceded possession too easily. Need to get a grip of the game again. Maresca going absolutely berserk.
Well, they might have done that now. Dewsbury Hall through to Mavididi, who's in again, and he's missed. And Vardy says, "Why didn't you square it?" What a chance! Winks won it in midfield. Dewsbury Hall released Mavididi, who was bearing down on goal. You thought it was 4-1, and he has put that comfortably wide in the end. A golden chance to perhaps seal the points.
Well, there's the evidence there. It just needs a tiny bit of quality and you will break through. I mean, that's a great pass, great run, to be fair. Yep, he's got to square that to Vardy. Mavididi, the other way round, Vardy does that. He's extremely unselfish in those positions. Jamie will not be a happy bunny with his teammate there, and I'm sure, but he did let him know, and he'll let him know more vociferously, I think, after the game. regardless of the result. But what an opportunity that was to kill the game off.
Here is Kamaldeen Suleimani again down this left-hand side for Southampton. Plays it short to Armstrong. We've just had two big chances in the space of a couple of minutes. One either side, or one for either side. Back now with Smallbone. And let's hope that we don't talk about that opportunity in 30 minutes time or so. Here is Smallbone though, picks out the new man. Kamaldeen Suleimani into the box it goes, headed away by Vestergaard, only as far as Manning.
Just as that ball went through, sorry to Mabadidi, I was just talking about Enzo Maresca was fuming on the touchline here. I thought, like Enzo did, that it was a Leicester ball, not for the first time. Just the referee on this side, give it Southampton's way. Leicester nearly got caught out and undone as a result of that, as well as their own sloppiness on their end.
Smallbone on halfway. Southampton in this half anyway, dominating the ball, and Leicester are looking to pounce. And then we know how open Southampton are when they do lose the ball, even when they have the ball, frankly. Here is Ryan Fraser in from that right-hand side. He's playing off the right for Southampton now, with Suleimani on the left, and he has the ball again, the substitute. He tries to cut inside McAteer, doesn't really get beyond him, keeps the ball though, plays it back to Fraser. Fraser will clip it in, though he won't. Well played by James Justin. Out to Smallbone. Smallbone shoots him a long way out, straight down the throat of Mads Hermansen, who just catches it, calms things down. 63 gone. Southampton 1, Leicester 3.
Yeah, I was going to say Leicester look comfortable enough, but I'm not sure that is the case. You know, but it's in the balance. They're particularly convincing with their defending, but they're getting numbers back. They're getting behind the ball. The majority of the time making it difficult for Southampton to penetrate, but then a couple of missed headers or skimmed clearances and ricochets and falls to Armstrong's feet there. Pereira's lost the ball now.
He has, and here goes Shay Adams, the slip through Ryan Fraser. Good save from Hermansen. It was a strong shot. Dorr with the lunging challenge as well, might just have put him off. But that was another chance to make it 3-2 for Southampton. Suleimani gets away from Justin, over hits the cross, and it whizzes out of play. But this one, you won't need me to tell you, is not over yet. With 63 minutes gone, chances at both ends.
Yeah, far from it, Chris. It could have been dead and buried, because I think at 4-1, even in this game, as an irretrievable lead, even that I've got a question. But as much as anything, I have to say it's down to Southampton's deficiencies, that lack of the cutting edge that is preventing Leicester from having their lead decreased, because they're not looking in control of the game.
Aggressive there from Manning to win it back against McAteer. Left back comes all the way towards the edge of the box. His shot is blocked by Vestergaard. It pops out to Armstrong. His shot is blocked by Leicester's big Danish centre-half, who's had a good match so far on his return to Southampton. He was part of that Saints team who were beaten by 9-0 against Leicester 4 years ago in October. Yeah. Ryan Fraser down that right-hand side, back to Kyle Walker-Peters. By the way, talking about the defending, Matt, and just watching Wout Faes, who played for Belgium, and Connor Cody warming up together. No word, Leicester have some talent. The heart of their defence this season. It's Vestergaard and Doyle tonight.
Yeah, well, at this level, without a doubt, yeah. I think Vestergaard, we're talking about the defence as being a little bit fragile and open tonight. But fair dues to him. He has his critics, or has had, but he's been pretty solid, pretty defendable up to now.
There'll be a few more tests in the next 25 minutes. Patson Daka is heading out for his warm-up. Ball through the lines towards Shay Adams, who has Doyle for company, but he's held it well and he's fed. Kamaldeen Suleimani, who will run it. Justin again, and Justin does well. Beaten once tonight, but Justin now had 4 or 5 direct challenges from the Saints left winger, and he's come out on top. He's put that behind for a corner, but had he got beyond him, Southampton would have been in business.
No, he's done excellently there. Space was running out. And Suleiman, like, him coming at you 1v1, no thank you. Alan Doyle was doing his best to help James Justin out, which I thought he needed. Ultimately, he's defended superbly.
He's got it again from Ryan Fraser. He's going to try and take on McAteer, teasing him, twisting one way then the other, but he stood firm, and then he's given it away to Mavididi, who gets beyond Smallbone, and he's in here, and he's got support. It's Mavididi with Dewsbury Hall up alongside him. He goes for goal, and this time he scores. Mavididi gets his goal. Leicester have their fourth. And surely now it's going to be 5 wins from 6 to start life in the Championship.
Oh, good job he scored, because if he scuffed that one wide, he'd be up against the wall. And that would just be his teammates, never mind his manager. I mean, crazy scenes, crazy situation there. And Southampton pushing and probing and trying to force something. But talk about overcommitment. I mean, Suleimano, who we've been praising there, and you see why he's not in the team. Gives it away needlessly, sloppily. But where is the Southampton defence? There's still 23 minutes to go, plus injury time. You don't have to throw everything, throw the kitchen sink and everything. There's not a defender between Southampton's goal and 10 yards into the opposition's half. Mavididi, McAteer, Dewsbury Hall, take your pick, any one of those three could have finished that ball off. Dewsbury Hall was the pass. I'm assuming he stayed on side. Mavididi went for the shot. I thought, oh my word, surely not. But fairness to him, he drilled it into the far post. 4-1, he's done the job. Second time round, Jamie Vardy's forgiven him as well, because he's smiling.
Stuart Armstrong has come on. There are an awful lot of Southampton fans who are streaming out of St Mary's. Pretty disgruntled. Awful campaign last season. Started well under Russell Martin, but this potentially is going to be 2 defeats in a row.
That's
and
crazy.
It's 9 goals and counting against. Comfortably, they have the worst defensive record in the Championship.
Yeah, what are you thinking? I don't get it. You know, even literally from the kick-off, they left themselves vulnerable. But listen, there's a style of play, and there's methods and philosophies and all that business. But you got to give yourself a chance in the game. They're going to get torn to shreds. But Leicester have been, they haven't been that clinical, because they could have doubled what they've got. Quite conceivably, could have had double their talent.
Leicester City fans sing about promotion. They are going top of the fledgling Championship table at the moment. Winks to Casadei, who almost picked out the substitute who's about to come on, Abdul Fatawu, but in the end he blasted it too long for Casey McAteer, who is going to be the player who comes off, and he turns McAteer and applauds the travelling fans who applaud him back. He already has his own song this season, and he now has a significant amount of goals. Maresca gives him a big hug. Another fine performance from Leicester City's young right winger.
Yeah, he's done well. Good all round. He got cut short a little bit when I was talking about McAteer earlier, but he's got a number of attributes, not just 1 or 2, 5 or 6, that are all very useful. Technically sound, very athletic, strong, professional in his approach. He listens to what he's been instructed to do, does a good job, decent in the air, puts in across, as we've seen, can finish as well. So there's more than half a dozen attributes that he's got. Good mentality on top of that. Fatawu, my money's on him to score a goal tonight.
I was just going to say that he would have been, any forward player watching this would have been licking their lips on the subs bench saying, please bring me on. Yeah. Here is Stuart Armstrong doing just that for Southampton. They're not done just yet. It's with Adams. That's an ambitious shot. It hits Vestergaard, and then Ricardo with an overhead kick clearance from inside his penalty area. And it was pretty effective as well. Here is Alcaraz. Well closed down there by Steffi Mavididi, who's gone over to the left wing with Fatawu on this near side, and the Leicester fans are making a right old din. And well they might. 4 goals away from home, and as things stand, it's going to be yet another away victory. Every match this season has ended in 3 points on the road. And it's with Manning now. Southampton have a very tricky match against Ipswich here on Tuesday night. They can't lose that, otherwise Russell Martin is going to be under some serious pressure. I think because of the way they're playing and how open they are. Here is Kamaldeen Suleimani. Back now with Stuart Armstrong.
Well, I can't see how he's able to defend what he's seen. I didn't see the game against Sunderland, but the result speaks for itself. But what you're seeing out there tonight is you can't really even say, oh, it's a
now
process.
Manning here has had an altercation with Abdul Fatawi, who has gone down holding his head. Bobby Madley is maybe taking some instruction from his assistant referees. I'm not sure there was that much in it, in all honesty, but it's just going to be a talking to for both players. But when someone goes down like that, you just wonder. And it's a yellow card for Ryan Manning.
Both players.
For both players.
Fatawu is a little bit naughty there, to be fair. Made an absolute dinner of it. And referee, the thing is, I mean, I prefer the game, so much more prefer the game without VAR. You know, it's so much simpler and just generally nicer, isn't it? You know?
It's an awful lot more easy to commentate because
true.
You just look at the linesman, and if the flag doesn't go up,
rightly or wrongly, you know, when it's done, it's done. But it's more straightforward, isn't it? Clean cut, and people getting on with it. There's no fussing and fretting about things, and better rhythm to the game as well, without a doubt. And in that instance there, I mean, technically, he did get a little brush to the face there, Fatawu, from Branning, but nothing in it, as you say, and the game just carries on.
Back now with Shea Childs into midfield to Alcaraz. Winks was close to him. Harry Winks quietly in central midfield has had an impressive night, particularly in the second half. You mentioned about how Leicester needed to retake control, and a few of their central midfielders did that. And now it's with Fatawi, who's dispossessed by Alcaraz, and immediately Maresca yells at him to get back. You lose the ball, it's your job to hair back and try and stop the opposition. I see McAteer do that so often tonight.
Fatawu hasn't done it sufficiently well.
Shot straight at Hermanson from Alcaraz from a long way out.
A little bit of a stroll back from Fatawu, but allowing Alcaraz, the man who took the ball off him, that time and space to curl a shot towards goal, as you say. No sweat for Hermanson, but future reference.
It's the type of detail I'm sure that Willy Caballero and Enzo Maresca will be watching. Oh, they've given the ball away there, Shea Childs, and it's with Dewsbury Hall striding towards the edge of the box, onto his left foot, goes beyond his man, is fouled. It falls for Mavididi, so we're playing on. Vardy sees his shot blocked, and I would suggest that Leicester would have preferred the free kick. Enzo Maresca is going potty down there to the fourth official. I don't blame him.
Well, I think perhaps the referee's mild defence, perhaps he played the advantage initially, but then, I don't know, you're digging a hole for yourself really, because the shot didn't come off, and then it gets played to Vardy, and then the advantage runs out, and you can't carry on the advantage for too long and go back for the foul. But it was a clear foul, was it? I think a free kick on the edge of the box, 4-1, you take that when you slow the game down.
Alcaraz, maybe a yellow card as well for the offending defender.
Yeah, should have been.
Mavididi also, outrageous little flick on the edge of his own box to release Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, and then Mavididi turns up against Smallbone, playing with all the confidence of a man who scored and set up one, and is part of a team who are winning 4-1 away from home with 15 minutes left.
You'd imagine Southampton are going to slowly disintegrate. You know, they've been a bit of a shambles anyway. Talking of which, Cassidy gives it away right on cue needlessly. That is very poor. Referee coming over.
Yeah,
come see the manager.
Going to be a yellow card for Maresca here for his complaints, which will only add to the frustration. He takes it very well, Enzo Maresca. I would suggest others inside St Mary's would be more annoyed. But
from the advice of the fourth official, that will be, wouldn't it? But
we've just seen it. It's definitely a free kick from Herwood Bellis.
100% free kick.
It's a yellow card as well. But the booking goes to the Leicester City manager, Enzo Maresca.
He won't be too concerned about that.
No.
But,
little shake of the head as he got it.
But you imagine Southampton, what do they do? They just... I'm not sure they've even got it in them now. You know, what we got? 13 minutes plus injury time. So they got into the attempt to fight back, really. The fire's gone, hasn't it? And if anything, they're going to deteriorate even more. Perhaps Leicester can increase this lead, but we shall see. We shall see how things develop.
We'll see if Maresca thinks about any more changes as well. Down there at Connor Cody's had a very lengthy warm-up. There's Norwich away on Wednesday night. It's another huge test. The players are heading back tonight. They train tomorrow. And then have a bit of rest before that. Another long trip to Carrow Road. Should be a big test. Here is Walker-Peters attacking for Southampton. His crossing is easily blocked by Ricardo, and then Mavididi does ever so well to get his body between Walker-Peters and the ball, and then he's fouled. Another change for Southampton. This is the end of Shea Adams, who is going to be a very important player for them this season. Hasn't happened tonight. Joe Aribo is coming on. But the fact that they kept Adams on deadline day was heavily with a move back to the Midlands. One would suggest, and you would think, that with Adams up front, Southampton are going to score plenty over the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, I mean, he's not prolific, is he, Adams? But
he's quite streaky. Looking down there, by the way.
He's always a threat. You don't take him complacently, do you, when you're coming up against him? You know what he's capable of, but regularity is not always there. But a handful does a job. Yeah, he's had a testing week, really, hasn't he? Been away with Scotland. Got a little bit of a chasing against England. Manager's aware of that. Give him a little bit of a rest.
Triple change for Leicester coming up. We're going to see Yunus Akgun, Kelechi Iheanacho and Hamza Chowdhury come on with 12 minutes of normal time left. 4-1 up Leicester, and the game now is nowhere near as frantic and hectic as you might imagine. Jamie Vardy, although, as I say that, was herring after Shea Charles.
No, but that fourth goal, as I mentioned, was always going to, well, it should do, kill the game off. 3-1, ordinarily you're thinking, relatively comfortable, but it wasn't looking that way. Southampton was sort of not easing their way into the game, but trying to force something to happen, and you wouldn't bet against it. But scoring that fourth just killed the fire, was it?
Here goes Aribo, who's just come on for Southampton. Flying down the right-hand side with Walker-Peters for company. Aribo's still got it. Placed it to Walker-Peters across goal. And Mads Hermansen makes a smart stop at the near post to put it behind for a corner. He's made a number of saves tonight, the Leicester City goalkeeper. And that is going to be a corner on the right-hand side, which Ryan Manning is run across to take.
Yeah, Aribo bringing a bit of fresh impetus, perhaps, but certainly momentarily. Again, this is perhaps not a lot, really. Walker-Peters should be trying to attempt something a little bit.
In comes Manning's set piece, headed away by Doyle. As far as Fatawu, who, had he got that pass right, Mavididi was in again. And as you mentioned, but inside his own half, in.
Well in, halfway into his own half. He would have had, 75 yards to run. There, just a miscue from Fatawu.
Back now with Stuart Armstrong, who kind of was the deepest playing, almost centre-back there. He's definitely not centre-back. Plays it to Kamaldeen Sulemana. And the triple change is still imminent from Enzo Maresca. Next time this ball goes out of play. Carlos Alcaraz has it on halfway for Southampton, looking for an option, looking for Adam Armstrong, still looking for Adam Armstrong, and eventually playing the ball out to Aribo on that right wing. Rolls it back to Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters to Aribo again. A bit more patientness from Southampton. Leicester are happy enough. Stuart Armstrong with it. Tries to bounce his way beyond Harry Winks, and kind of does, but then he can't get beyond Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall looked to play a 1-2 with James Justin, but it hit Fatawu, and then it's a poor pass from Justin to give it away to Aribo. 9 minutes left, and Leicester just need to keep their concentration and keep the intensity up as well. Here is Aribo once more into Alcaraz. edge of the box here. Alcaraz trying to get the shot away again. Winks did well. Comes back to Stuart Armstrong onto his left foot. He rolls it back here to Manning. Manning then through the lines towards Suleimani, but he can't keep that in play unless to have it with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, steady enough from Leicester, but again, I'm just looking down the line against. I don't know, are there too many better oppositions in this division? I don't know, in attacking sense. But I'd just like to see them cruising the game out a little bit more convincingly, really, or be in control and win it 5 or 6, which they're capable of. But they haven't really, strange as it seems to say, really got. They look quite slick, as I mentioned, on numerous occasions, fleetingly, but not consistently throughout the game. They haven't dominated. So again, I'm not going to be too picky, but there's still plenty of room for improvement out there.
And we know that will be the message from Enzo Maresca. It's going to be 15 points from a possible 18, but still, as you said, since there's so much more to come. Here come the 3 substitutes, and the first player off is going to be Harry Winks. Of course, on a yellow card in the second half, has then controlled the tempo and played a big part in this victory. Hamza Chowdhury is going to replace Harry Winks. We're going to see the end of Kiernan Dewsbury Hall as well. Another fine night from him, and Yunus Akwin's going to get some more minutes in Leicester City colours following his late move in the August transfer window. And the final change is going to see Kelechi Iheanacho introduced for Jamie Vardy. A goal scorer again at St Mary's, and a goal scorer in the Championship for the first time since 2014 tonight. On comes Kelechi Iheanacho, who of course got that goal in the FA Cup semi-final against Southampton, the only goal, back in April of 2021, and we know what happened a month later in the final. Not a bad triple change to bring on at 4-1 up.
Yeah, exactly. Add Cassidy to that as well. There's plenty of depth at this level. Again, I mentioned that term, but when you look at it, considering the amount of players that have gone, I mean, you've lost the whole team pretty much, haven't you? The number of players that have gone. Yes, quite a few still remain as well. People have been brought in. It's been cleverly manoeuvred, to be fair, because Leicester look good in this division, and you'd imagine like they're only going to get better, and they have that depth as well. Is Fatawu? Here
comes Fatawu. Oh, he's leading Southampton defenders a merry dance, and he's popped it out to Mavididi, who chips the cross in, headed away by Manning, only as far as Hamza Chowdhury. Enzo Maresca just right on the edge of his technical area, just telling Ricardo where to pass that back to Yannick Vestergaard.
I like the look of Fatawu. Quite powerful, good sort of balance about his play. Looks like he can go either way. Pacey. Perhaps going to be a bit erratic. He's one of those players, isn't he? He doesn't always try the simple thing, but it looks like it could be a danger.
Well, the Ole's come to an end because Leicester lose the ball, but it's that type of night. And it's a bit of a chastening one for Southampton. They've now conceded 4 at home twice, by the way. They drew 4-4 with Norwich, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight. But they never say never in this game that we so love. Free kick there given away by young Akwin and taken out of position by Southampton, so Bobby Madley sends them back. Stuart Armstrong has it, but the zip and the belief completely gone out of their game.
Sorry, Chris. Great moments as an away supporter, in this case Leicester tonight.
Absolutely.
4-1 up. That looked offside to me, no?
Yeah, he did. Here is Armstrong. Vestergaard got back really well though, and then Justin does well to clear. And every minute he plays, James Justin.
Yeah.
And even Yannick Vestergaard, right, played very little football for different reasons. But
yeah, it's only going to do them good, is it? James Justin is a class operator in this division. certainly, and higher. But just go back to supporters. You've got to make the most of these moments. Not too often. Seems a 4-1 up away from home against your expected division rivals. All the songs are coming out. Chants of each player and antagonising the opposition supporters. Moments to be savoured.
They'll make a long trip down the M1 or whatever motorway they use today well worth it. And here's Cassidy, a lovely little slalom in from the right, really, across the pitch, and then threads the ball to Doyle.
Yeah, it's nice. A little bit over extravagant sort of thing. Over exaggerated it, but yeah, nice technical ability, good body movement.
Iheanacho releases Fatawu. Locked space for the Leicester right winger, back to Cassidy. Iheanacho has made his way forward. Said it goes to Ricardo again. He stepped into midfield from that left back area. Now Cassidy might just open up here for the shot. He tries to go beyond Will Smallbone, who says no way, and releases Stuart Armstrong. Armstrong pokes it forward. Doyle's there with a big challenge. Comes back to Smallbone. Say what? Maybe half the Southampton fans have left. Maybe a few more, actually. And I would guess that those who have remained will be pretty obvious with their feelings come full time as well.
Yep, says it all, doesn't it?
Conceded 16 goals this season, 5 more than the next worst, which is Middlesbrough and Rotherham. That for a freshly relegated team, remember. Here goes Stuart Armstrong. They are a threat at the other end. And Kamaldeen Sulemana has it. Excellent block from Justin. Well, he was beaten once by the sub, and ever since then, he's played him extremely well. Yeah,
fair play. I mean, even though Justin would have been surprised the ease with which Sulemana skipped by him initially, but he's learned his lesson. Just a little bit exposed there in the middle of the park, though, Leicester. Chowdhury coming on and Cassidy. In the midfield, it needs to be shoring things up a little bit better than that at this stage.
That with Fatawu in the right back area, really. Justin pings it into the feet of Atgun, and now Vestergaard to Ricardo, and Leicester are just zipping the ball around this St Mary's surface now, very, very comfortably and easily. It's going to be 3 more points to add to the tally. And the league table is going to look very, very good ahead of everyone else's matches, apart from Hull and Coventry, who have played tonight. Doyle tried to feed it to Iheanacho, almost as if he had enough of just keeping the ball at the back.
I was just going to say, a bit more like it, really. Just see it out with a bit of conviction. Before it was a little bit loose, but then trying to pass to the front area. It gets cut out, but to be fair, they've had a fair bit of joy off that tonight. It's been far too easy for them to play that ball into Jamie Vardy and others. They'll be scratching their heads, sort of in bewilderment at the ease with which they've got out. But make hay while the sun shines, and to a degree, they have.
This whole match being played to the backdrop of the Leicester City supporters. The full repertoire has come out tonight. I guess a fair few might just be staying down on the south coast as well to enjoy the local facilities a bit more. Added time will be 6 minutes. 6 minutes, which seems almost unnecessary, Matt, but we know that's the way. We know that's the way it's going. Enzo Maresca scratching his head. He'll be thinking about.
It's nice to be on the positive side of that, isn't it? Other times it hasn't always been the case, but yeah, for Southampton thinking, oh no, really, can't we just call it quits? But they've been feeling like that for a while, the truth be told.
Well, this stadium is going to be really empty at full time, apart from the blue end to our right-hand side. So throw in on the far side, but the game's over, really. Russell Martin having a long animated discussion with the fourth official. He might just talk himself into a booking if he's not careful. Back with his sole centre half, Harewood Bellis. think they would like to have Jan Bednarak back pretty quickly.
Oh, look at Brannan. Threw himself on the floor. Stopped to look at the ref. He made a decision, and he's carried on. Back in pain again now. He had a little period there where the pain just disappeared and it came back again.
Oh, he's going to pick up a booking
Oh, it's
here.
gone again now.
Is Yunus Akgun. Ryan Manning, you're right. It's, so they call deferred pain, something like that?
Yeah, well, in fairness, he had the same done to him with Fatawu, but...
That's true. So a yellow card anyway for the Leicester sub.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
They're in no hurry to take this free kick. Short by Howard Bellis into Stuart Armstrong. And now with Shea Charles towards Adam Armstrong. Kicks out Aribo. That's a good ball. Armstrong moving forward, but again, Yannick Vestergaard was there just to snuff out the danger.
Yeah, he spotted that well, to be fair, covered very constantly.
28,877 the attendance. I would think there's no more than 10,000 inside St Mary's now.
Yeah, well short of that.
Manning with the ball forward. That's a good looking one, but Adam Armstrong couldn't bring it down.
2,500 of them are in blue shirts.
Yeah. It's with Doyle and Ricardo passing the ball around deep inside their own penalty area. Cassidy and Navadidi are beaten by Walker Peters, but then Doyle comes out and wins it and wins a free kick for handball, I think.
You can't give a defender man of the match when you win 4-1 away from home, can you?
Well, it's funny. You read my mind, because I know we've still got 3 minutes left, but I was going to ask you for your man of the match.
Yeah, no one's ran away with it, despite the scoreline and the bordering on emphatic way. Although it's funny how your memory fades a little bit when you look at the scoreline, isn't it? Because it hasn't always been a runaway victory, but in fact it's scoreline, shall we say. I'm looking at Vardy played his part, good set-up play, particularly in the first half. Didn't feature much in the second. McAteer, nice goal, good contribution all round, worked hard. Harry Winks kept them, there's numerous people to mention, aren't there? Winks is, you're pointing at a name now, I'm missing it out on purpose. I suppose I'm going to have to come back to that. Although, he hasn't been absolute top-notch. But Winks has been the name that we're going to come to in the end, that is. I'm just milking it, Chris. I'm just milking it, because this long 6 minutes, this. And there's only 2 to go, right? Can I stretch it out that long? Winks has been, integral, as he always is, hasn't he? Dewsbury all busy, a bit of quality missing occasion. 2 centre-halves, less so Doyle, more so Vestergaard. Vestergaard's been starting to steady. I'm coming back round to it. It's Fatawu's goal
for
here.
Another Fatawu's moving forward. He's picked out Ian Atcho in on goal. Oh, he's missed.
Word. He's missed by a mile.
He has. Kelechi Iheanacho there. Well, the fifth looks odds on, and he's tried to dink it over the goalkeeper, I think, but he's got way too much on it. And it's a long way over Bazzuno's bar in the end.
Well, may you look at the ground, Kelechi. Matara, I thought was going to fulfil my prophecy. Nice ball. You think he could. Kelechi, that's his area all day long, isn't it? He loves that little dink. But not as far as I've thought, actually.
Oh, Chowdhury's almost won that ball. Madividi has it to the byline, crosses back in, and it hits the top of the net. And again, the boos, because that all came about after Bazzuno played it very short. Yeah. And Leicester have been onto that all night, and they picked them off all night.
Yeah, fair play. They've nullified the opposition, haven't they? But actually, just a yard or so over, not as far as I thought it was. Anyway, back to man of the match. Mavididi. All right, let's get it over with. Good contribution all round. Got himself a goal. Good job and all, because if he didn't, he'd have been up against the firing squad, as I said. But here's Matt Fatawu. He's going to score this time, surely.
Fatawu plays it into Iheanacho.
Oh, come on, Kelechi.
And this time, Shea Charles got the cross to win the ball. Well, Leicester have got 4. They really could have had 6 or 7.
Easy.
So with Stuart Armstrong at the other end, Chowdhury races back. Excellent challenge. And then a late challenge there by Kamaldeen Sulemana on Justin, and he's off. Red card. It was really late. Let's hope James Justin is okay.
It's unnecessary at
because he is
stage, isn't it?
in some discomfort. It was reckless. He went over the ball and he caught Justin. Red card for the Southampton substitute. But let's hope that James Justin, who is still down, is okay after that.
Well, he's felt the force for sure. Not sure how malicious it was, clumsy yet. You probably saw it a little bit keener than me, but one thing I can tell you, it was unnecessary, wasn't it? You know, last minute of the game. Sliding like that, what are you going to achieve? Not a lot.
And after all of James Justin's injuries, it is good to see him being helped back to his feet, and he's going to be fine to carry on. Sulemana is yet to leave the pitch. He really ought to.
Talk about frustrating though. Sorry, Chris, you know, he's a sub. Come on, trying to prove a point. He ain't playing for 3 more games. You're going to be frustrated for a good while yet now because of your naivety.
Difficult night for Southampton, that is for sure. Well, we've now had 7 additional minutes. We're going to see a replay here of the challenge. Don't know how late it was, actually.
I didn't think it was malicious, to be fair. He hasn't gone siding through, has he? Clumsy, yellow. It's not red for me.
So now Turmenton will clear. Bobby Nadley doesn't blow his whistle yet. Will Smallbone wins the header. But there goes the full-time whistle. Not quite 9, but another Friday night to remember at St Mary's for Leicester City. The boos are from the Southampton supporters because Enzo Maresca and his Leicester City team have come here and have hit 4 to make it 15 points from a possible 18 at the beginning of the championship season. Jamie Vardy started the scoring inside 30 seconds. Casey McAteer made it 2, and although Samuel Edozie got one back, second half strikes were more than enough for Leicester City, who might have won by more. But the plaudits go to those in blue. A very, very, very happy away end. Full-time score at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Leicester City 4.